the question is, why did I listen to guitar players? I did because I liked the way they played. But seriously, I was looking for other, I mean, pretty much my playing is generally mimicking other things that I've heard, you know. I'm not tremendously original, you know, I listen to things and then I learn them or I hear them enough and they get into my psyche and then I distort the hell out of them, you know. And what I was doing then was just, I was very excited by guitar players, particularly around in the beginning, in the late 60s and early 70s. There was a whole excitement happening on the instrument, you know, the way they bent notes and the way they played the blues. And I really, I liked what they were doing, so I tried to, I figured out weird fingerings on the saxophone to emulate, you know, the way they would bend notes and try and get in between the major and the minor third, you know. And I was just experimenting, looking for other avenues. You know, I still, you know, I don't just copy saxophone players, although I still love to copy saxophone players. You know, if I hear anyone play a phrase, you know, if it really gets my ear, I try and figure out what it is, you know, or find a record that it's on, and you know, slow it down if I have to, and figure out what it is. You know, I think it's a real useful tool also, you know, to learn solos or learn parts of solos. I know that's a question that's often asked me, did I learn solos? And the answer is yes. But I didn't have the discipline to learn whole solos, really. I did it occasionally, but I found it helpful for me to, if I was going to do it, to copy it out myself and not do it out of a book, because somehow it sank in more. And I also found it helpful to, once I learned it, to play it along with the record, to figure out how it lays over the rhythm section. But more often I took pieces, you know, guitars or saxophones, and, you know, trumpets, piano solos, and if I heard a lick that I liked, I'd steal it, you know. And eventually, I mean, my memory is not so good, so I'd forget it, and it would come out in some other weird, bizarre way a few months later. I found that it was usually 2 months. If I worked on something like 2 months later, all of a sudden it would creep out. I'd be playing somewhere and all of a sudden, you know, that would come out. And, you know, it was never really a conscious process. I was never one of those people that could learn something and then play it that night. I always have to trust that it's going to come out somewhere in my psyche. And music for me is largely intuitive. I was talking about that earlier. I'm not a real intellectual kind of player. My mind doesn't work that way. I think fairly quickly. I'm aware of the chords when I'm playing most of the time. I'm not real tuned into that. Lately I've been more tuned into shapes and pivot points and melodies, particularly when I'm recording. I've been trying to concentrate on playing melodically and less mechanical, playing looser, and just let, you know, what naturally happens happen, you know, without trying to color it. I wanted to do this. I was thinking about this earlier. Maybe this is a risk. I was talking also earlier about time, about rhythm. For me, I think the most important thing is time. You know, I don't know the word to use for it, swinging or cooking or, you know. Without that, it doesn't matter what notes you play. Notes are important too for me, but if I'm not somehow really connected in a meaningful way to what's happening in the rhythm section, it really is pointless, you know, in jazz music, you know, or jazz-related music. I don't know how to quite... I've never done this. I just want to... I don't know. One way I worked on it was to play the drums. I was wondering if I could just... This could be real embarrassing. Can you lift your seat a little bit? Just lift. Thanks. Thank you. Over the coffee, right? Thank you. Bear with me. I haven't done this in quite a few moons. Want to just do blues again? Do the same. We'll just play a couple chords, play for a minute. and then I'll stop. Around the, I guess, the same tempo. So we're yeah. What? Oh, do you want to turn it off? I did that, I guess, just to show I'm serious, that, you know, that for me, rhythm is the whole thing. I'm real attached to the drums. I don't play it too often anymore, but, you know, when I was younger, I really sat down and tried to figure out how 3 goes against 4, you know, what makes music swing. And then from playing with a lot of saxophone players, I used to play drums a lot with saxophonists. They used to like to play with me because I knew where they were coming from. And it was like the reverse side of the coin, you know. I suggest, you know, I mean, it's just a suggestion. If anyone wants to learn more about that, just to take up a rhythm section instrument and, you know, screw around with it, and it's amazing what you learn.